Hello everybody. Let's start from the initial stage, that the introduction to indexes, or what indexes are actually. So indexes in any database are quite similar to a book's index. So instead of looking through the whole book, we just take a shortcut and just look at its table of content, that is an ordered list, basically, which allows us to find the information faster. Basically a query that does not use an index called a table scan, which means that server has to look through the whole database and finds a query result. This process is basically what you would do if you were looking for information in a book without any index or table of content. What you would do, you start at page 1 and read through the whole thing or book in short. So we basically want to avoid making the server do table scan because it is very slow for large collections. Hence we use the concept of indexing in our database, as indexes allow MongoDB to process and fulfill queries quickly by creating small and efficient representations of the documents in a collection. So indexes also support the efficient resolution of queries, providing high performance read operations. Indexes basically support the efficient execution of queries and help to increase the speed of querying data. This is so because they organize the data by a given field to let MongoDB find it quickly, as indexes keeps all its value in a sorted order, so it makes sorting documents by the index key much faster. Indexes are basically trees which have smallest value on the leftmost leaf and the greatest on the rightmost leaf, same as in data structures we have trees. Without the proper indexes, the only way to satisfy the query is to scan all documents linearly until the query conditions are met. Hence, MongoDB must scan every document of a collection to return a matched query statement in the form of a document. Or, this simply means scanning the entire collection. Hence, indexes basically reduce the amount of work required to fetch the documents. So as a book's example given earlier, from that we can say that the collection scans are highly inefficient and require the MongoDB to process a large amount of data for every operation, or we can say that for every query. Indexes basically stores the value of a specific field or set of fields that is being ordered by the value of fields. So there are two parts to an index, that an index can be on a specific field, say for example an employee collection, or a set of fields, say an employee ID, or it can be applied on multiple fields also, say ID and name, and they are being ordered in ascending or descending, whatever the order is being specified in the query, that is 1 or -1. 1 is used for ascending order and -1 is used for descending order. We'll see later in our hands-on session. So indexes are the spatial data structures that store a small portion of the collections dataset in an easy to traverse form. MongoDB's indexes actually work almost identical to typical relational database indexes. So use of indexes in the database basically make a great difference in the query times, because indexes do not let MongoDB to scan the whole database, and as the collection size increases, use of indexes in database are much efficient. An index keeps all of its value in a sorted order, so it makes sorting documents by an indexed key much faster. MongoDB defines or supports indexes at the collection level and supports indexes on any field or subfield of the documents in a MongoDB collection. MongoDB also supports the secondary indexes, or you can create indexes on fields embedded in subdocuments. For example, we have a collection which has an employee document and it has a subdocument, say department. So MongoDB also support indexes on the subdocuments field, say department ID field. Hence indexes are very important. With the right indexes in place, MongoDB can use its hardware efficiently, and also it will serve your application's queries quickly. But wrong indexes could produce the opposite result, that is your queries will be slower and your hardware will be poorly utilized. So if proper indexing approach is chosen, it would be highly beneficial actually.